our last session, we were discussing how it is necessary to take into account the culture to make sure that you will have high productivity. Now, we saw this curve here. Now, what's the origin of this curve? Why does it happen? Because in kinship societies where clans are very strong, people spend a lot of time together. They only need to look at the other to understand. This is why indirect speech is frequent there. Allusions are understood. On the other hand, in other societies where the people leave home very early, perhaps at 18, they are exposed to a larger diversity of people in the world. And communication needs to be direct. And trust needs to be fostered. On the other hand, in the kinship society, trust is very ingrained into the people that they have known for very long. Family friends. This is why when in a relational society you hire from the market, you're likely to have a very excellent person, the best you can pay for, but when brought to work into the team, they will not be as effective as a person who is already a member of the team and doesn't want to let the team down. This is the reason why the productivity curve is much higher and grows much faster when you respect the culture. Now, when you have a society that has a Weberian kind of grid of behavior, and you have the standard procedures of HR, recruitment, control mechanism, knowledge transfer, leadership role. In the Weberian grid, you work according to a different ethos. In recruitment, you want market-based to get the best people. You want credentials, you want in-personal screening. In the clan society, you have affinity-based, leveraging social networks, personal recommendation. Nothing is impersonal in a clan. And in the Weberian grid, you have control mechanisms because the people don't need to be controlled because they are individuals and they may seek their own agenda over the institutional agenda. On the other hand, in the clan society, peer accountability is crucial. Everybody's looking on to everybody else and making sure that the team is not let down. So, as you can see, I leave you to interpret the rest because you can stop this film whenever you want and see for yourself looking at this grid. Now, the result is that you have teams which look after themselves, and coordination, it does not need a central command. People know what they have to do and they do it because they want to, because they want to succeed. So on the left-hand side of this picture, you have something like a samba school for over 4,000 people in their costumes, fully rehearsed, with floats that have to be built. On the right-hand side, you have something like the Kerala boat races of India. This is not exactly that, but you have communities that have come together to make this show possible. One is a samba parade, the other is a race. But you know, that boat has to be built, it has to be cleaned, it has to be taken to the water, and they are enormous. They have about 100 rowers. And it's not only one boat, you have perhaps 100 of them. It's a major competition, like the Samba School Parade is. But the people are working for their community and for their communal pride. Now, how to decide where to allocate the people according to a managerial grid, Weberian managerial grid, and a clan one. Imagine that you've got that hospital there. It needs to be aseptic. Yeah? The people there really have to be highly trained. Asking people to come in and work because they're a friend is not the way to go. But a hospital has many other areas where clans could work very effectively, like in laundry, in bedding, in cleaning up, and in many other issues that do not need as much high training as you need in surgery, for example. So it's a question of knowing where to place your people to get the best of all of them. That is the criteria. So how would you decide what kind of work can be done by a clan where the metrics are imprecise, where you can't really put your finger on what the result must be like. That's where a clan-based team works better. When there is execution ambiguity, more than one way to do the same thing, a clan is better. High interdependence. When it's not essential that one thing is finished before the other one can take over, but they can resolve the small attritions. And the conditions are variables. Do the daily environmental conditions change unpredictably? Then you need a team, a clan team, because they adjust themselves very quickly. And tacit knowledge. No manuals. They just tell each other how it works and how it should be done. And that is optimal for a clan management. So if you can find a place within the organization where these are the features of the work to be done, a clan can take over that much better. How do you train the clan? Well, first of all, you have to choose the clan leaders who are the masters. They know how to do things. They get the journeyman, they train them, and then they become an apprentice, and it works like this. But it has to have a stable territory. You just don't get the person and send them to work somewhere else in another city and break up the team. They can develop distinct rituals. They have to have different uniforms. They have to have a sense of pride, of team, of unity, where they can feel proud of what they do. And of course they have to have collective accountability. And this is how it works, and this is how it works beautifully for a Samba school and for the Kerala boat races. Now there is another dimension which is also extremely important. Organizations have a social responsibility. And you don't not only have to have a corporate productivity and income that works properly, proper performance. You have to allow for social mobility and make sure that the people that were not privileged enough to know the boss of that organization or the people that run it have a chance of evolving into positions of power, of contribution that they can be very proud of. And at the same time, if you offer this mobility, you will be contributing to social security, because the gangs recruit the people who are frustrated and don't find a way upwards. So, my friend, this is the best solution for third world countries where much of the work to be done does not need to be very specialized, but the people need opportunities to grow and to make a family and to be able to house them, to educate them, and leave the gangs outside. So it's not only management for performance, it's management for a fair society. Thank you very much.